Early Man is made by Aardman Animations. You know, they made Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, Shaun the Sheep. I think that's it. It features Eddie Redmayne as Doug, our main protagonist. He is a caveman who lives with other cavemen. They are the last of their kind, and new civilians from the Bronze Era come in to take over this caveman's land. You know, ends up being about Stone Era versus Bronze Era. And Lord Newth, what a weird character name, played by Tom Hiddleston. He wants this land because he thinks there is stuff that these cavemen have that could help the bronze civilians, Bronze City and whatnot. But Doug is going to stop that. He's going to save his city. And how does he do that? Soccer. It's a soccer game. It's a movie about soccer. And I've seen this movie before. At first, I was thinking this was going to be a fun, unique, creative movie about the Stone Era versus the Bronze Era. But when it's a soccer movie, it's something I've seen before. You've probably seen this movie where it's like this one guy who's like, I'm going to save my business, my family, or my restaurant, my house, my school, something like that, over some sport that they suck at, and they just, I don't know why they would decide to do it over something they're not good at. But then they learn about teamwork and whatnot, and then this other person who's really good at that one sport comes in to help them. Then they're just really good all of a sudden. Space Jam. It's Space Jam. That's what it is. Space Jam is a great example. This is like Space Jam, except with cavemen and no Michael Jordan, pretty much. And I have no problems with it being about soccer. I heard that this movie is a play off of Manchester United and the Real Madrid football teams or soccer teams. And I think that's creative, but it's just something we've seen before. It lacks creativeness for the most part, and it doesn't translate that well in the States. And that's not their fault. That's not our fault. It might be our fault. I just think this story could have been more fascinating to be when it's about the Stone Era versus the Bronze Era, a clash of two different types of civilians and technology and whatnot. When you look at this poster, at least going based off of memory, I don't remember seeing a soccer ball in there. And maybe in the trailer they showed it, but when you look at this poster, you wouldn't think about that. You would think it's like, I don't know, fish out of water, war type of movie. I don't know. That would give it much more potential to show these more unique and interesting character personalities that this movie has at times. It just doesn't delve into it enough. And I'll get to that later. I know originally this movie would have been The Croods, DreamWorks The Croods. Aardman Studios, DreamWorks Animations, they were making movies. They were going to make a caveman movie, and then there was a clash between the two studios, and then Aardman left. And so DreamWorks decided to stick with The Croods or something along those lines. And you got that while Aardman Studios is making Early Man. So I'm assuming some of the ideas you saw in The Croods is what Early Man would have really been, probably just with a different style of humor and obviously stop motion animation, which is really good in this movie. Very good animation. But instead, it just felt like this movie was rushed, even though it took them a long time to make it because of the animation, I'm assuming. It just felt like a 30-minute cartoon idea dragged out for 90 minutes. It's just very underwritten. This doesn't give the opportunity for your characters to shine. Except for Doug and Lord Newth, because they are the main two characters in this film. But for your supporting characters, there's very little to them. At the beginning, you see their like traits and whatnot, but that's really about it. You don't see it throughout the rest of the film. And there's so much great talent behind this movie. The characters' looks are very memorable and unique and different from any type of other animated movie I've seen in the past couple years. And the voice work fits this type of style of humor and charm. It's just not memorable because it's predictable and these characters aren't fleshed out. Ironically, if it was fleshed out though, this probably would have dragged the movie out because the movie is very fast paced, and I'll give it that. I just wish it was something completely different. I just don't want a soccer sports movie. It's certainly better than other movies. I'll give it that. But when you just have high standards of, Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, and all their other work, this one is just rough to watch at times. It starts off strong with introducing its characters and dilemmas, but once it becomes about soccer, it's just something I'm not really interested in because I've seen this movie before. It's just about an underdog team that has to win this one game in order to save their city or world or whatever. It's just the characters are not that memorable. The jokes fall flat. It's just disappointing overall for me. I think if you are a soccer fan, you will get a kick out of it. Nice. Anyway, if you're a soccer fan, I think you will enjoy it more, partly because you'll probably understand more of the references. Especially towards the end, there are more references and jokes about soccer and soccer teams that kind of flew over my head. If you're a fan of Aardman Studios and you're interested in seeing this, I mean, feel free to spend your money on this ticket if you want to. But I would just recommend you go see it and at your home, or just rent it. Wait till it's on Netflix or Hulu or something. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm feeling a 5.5 out of 10. Yep, that sounds about right. All right.